Welcome back to another video. So here we have a woman who's going to explain to us the dark sides of attraction and how they secretly, once again, want emotionally unavailable men, but they'll never admit it. So let's check it out.
I think there are two types of emotionally unavailable people. The first type is someone who is so focused that they can't even prioritize their emotions. They don't even know how they feel. They're too busy doing what they gotta do. The second type of emotionally unavailable is someone who's aware. They're aware of how they feel. They're not too busy to be focused on what they're doing, but they're just neglecting it. They're neglecting communicating it. They're neglecting even facing how they feel. So the unavailability is more intentional on that type. So being emotionally unavailable is not necessarily a terrible, bad thing. When we say emotionally unavailable men, a lot of women see that as a negative notation and they think it's something to run away from. But in reality, it's exactly what we run to.
Yeah, that's why you can never believe anything they say. You got to just go with what they respond to. Women will say that they want a guy who expresses their feelings and all that stuff, but they reward sexually guys who don't do any of that. And the guys who do that behavior, if like for example, if they meet you and you're at the beginning you're emotionally distant, and then they nag and complain, then they nag and complain, and they want you to open up more. When you do open up more, they for some reason aren't attracted to you anymore. They say you've changed, and then you ask her like, "What is it? What am I doing wrong?" They can't tell you. They can't tell you. It's just I don't know. It's a feeling that I have that you've changed and you're not the same guy. Basically, uh, you were a bad boy, and she nagged you to be a good boy, and now that you're a good boy, she don't like you no more. That's that's basically what happened.
Women love emotionally unavailable men simply because we're so emotional. You might think that we want a guy to express our emotions to and for the guy to express his emotions to us. In a perfect world, right? Yes. But the thing is, as soon as we start expressing our emotions to these men and to a man, we want to have these strong emotions still. We don't want these emotions to be put away, right? We don't want a man to necessarily feel for us. We want a man to give us solutions. We want a man to think in his own perspective.
Yeah, that's so. She's lying right there. They do not want solutions. Okay, what they want, basically is it's what do they call it today? Like a data download. They want a data download everything they're going through and whatever and all their thoughts onto you. Old school MGTOW, old school Red Pill pages called it emotional tampon. So they basically want an emotional tampon. And the reason why women like emotionally unavailable men, they want to create all of these pseudo intellectual terms for everything. But basically, today we're in modern times and living in comfort and decadence. But women deep down inside, they still want a hunter. They still want a guy who meets hunter like qualities. And, being like someone who's expressive and shares his feelings and stuff like that, that doesn't show hunter like qualities, because if you were an actual hunter, uh, you wouldn't have time to be sitting with me around the campfire, sitting with me at the cave, sitting with me and the kids, chit chatting. Okay, you'd be out hunting that woolly mammoth, hunting the buffalo, hunting some fish. Okay, fishing, bringing back the bacon. So the reason why they like emotionally unavailable men, it's not because they're emotional themselves. It's because deep down inside, they want a guy who still has hunter-like qualities, and expressing your feelings is not hunter-like.
And not in our perspective. Because you want to know why? The emotion that we feel that you might think we want to be reciprocated, that emotion will weaken. It will weaken. And that's not a good thing because we're emotional women. Women are so emotional. We need emotion. We need it. And a man that is not as emotionally available will give room for this woman to feel how she wants to feel without a man getting in the way of that. Literally. A woman wants to feel how she wants to feel, whether it's good, bad, whatever it is. If she's expressing it to you, you're a lucky man because she's being vulnerable. She's, giving herself to you. She's expressing, that's a vulnerability in a woman. And we don't necessarily want the same vulnerability from men. We want just enough. Just enough, meaning we want you to just.
Yeah. So expressing your feelings is showing like vulnerability and weakness, and it's not showing hunter-like qualities. So um, that's basically it. And the reason why women are so emotional, it has a lot to do with childbearing. Like the reason why all humans are the way they are, men are the way they are, and women are the way they are. It's all like ties back into sexual, procreation. Um, so they have their monthly cycles, and the every like what week, like the hormones are going through fluctuations. This you know causes them to be a certain way and have a certain outlook on things. Meanwhile, men, if you're a healthy male, you'll mostly just be leveled out. Your hormones will always be leveled out when you are going to enter into sexual activity, or maybe sometime throughout the day you might see a hot girl. You might do something that's high intensity. You'll get a spike in test, but then you'll go back to leveling out, right? But women, because their reproduction, tubes and all that stuff. I got to keep it PG, guys, for YouTube. So this is why I talk in this way, where I'm looking for a word that doesn't that fits the guidelines, right? So their reproductive system, right? It's more complex, right? It's more complex because the process that they have to go through to create life is way more complex than ours. Okay, so we basically plant the seed, and then they have to carry it from there, do the whole process of growing the seed and watering the seed, and the whole thing, right? And this is why they're emotional, and also it's tied to evolution basically made them, or whatever you believe in, evolution, God, the universe, whatever. I don't want to get into that, but it made them more emotional so that they can have a better bond with the child, and they wouldn't like abandon it, right? They wouldn't see the child as something that is like ruining their life, or cause them a lot of pain. They will see the child as they have like this connection with the child, and this is why they're more emotional. It's evolutionary, and it has to do with their hormones and their reproductive system.
Listen. Just listen. You don't have to feel. You don't have to be presently emotionally available per se. But just listen to us. Listen to us, let us get it out, and let us feel it. Let us feel angry. Let us feel happy. Let us feel excited. Whatever we're feeling. We don't necessarily need you to be available for that.
Yeah, women, as much as they want you to be expressive, that is a lie. They want a rock. They want someone who's like emotionally stable and mentally stable. And this doesn't mean that you have to be like a Terminator, or this doesn't mean you have to be like a robot. This doesn't mean that you are always like stone cold gray. Like, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. Okay, you could poke buttons. Okay, once again, don't forget that women like men who emotionally stimulate them. So if all of women's emotions are like keys on a piano, you never want to press the same key every time. So let's just say one key is happiness, the other key is sadness, the other key is horniness, the other key is pissed off, the other key is you know uh giggly and laughing, and the another key is depression, and another key is, just imagine that all of their emotions throughout the day are like sets of piano keys. You never want to press the same one. I'm gonna keep her happy. I'm gonna keep her happy. I'm gonna keep her happy. No, one day just throw a wrench in there. Just I'm gonna ignore her. Boop. I'm gonna press ignore. Next day, you know what? I'm just gonna piss her off just for fun. Boop. Piss her off. Uh, because this is what they love. They don't like to feel the same feeling all the time. They want to feel a variety of feelings, and you have to be the one to put them on that emotional roller coaster. So don't be afraid to to show some uh, emotion and some personality and some riz or whatever the hell they say. But you don't want to be stone cold gray. Same emotion, emotionless. That's also not good either, because if you're always the same and you're not spontaneous and all that, then you're not stimulating my emotions, and I'm gonna go to a guy who isn't weak, but he puts me on like a roller coaster where I get to feel a variety of feelings.
So when we want these emotionally unavailable men, there's two types. There's two types. And women can get confused by it. And men, since men are not as equipped in the emotional arena. I mean, I know men know emotions. You're a human. But I'm saying where you can actually prioritize it and really feel the emotion.
We're not as equipped. No, it is that we process it differently. When men are out, achieving things and conquering the world, we don't have time to sit there and, be afraid and, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? Like, yes, you feel afraid, but you process it differently. You're like, I'm afraid, but I'm gonna have to tackle this. I gotta keep pushing forward. I'm worried, but I'm gonna take the risk. Um, I don't feel too sure about something, but hey, push through, right? So it's not that we're not equipped, right? It's that we process it differently. We feel afraid. We have fear of loss. We have, you know, uh, missing somebody. We miss people too, but we just can't show it as much as you guys, and we process it differently too. While you might have, like, a woman would like lash out, a man might shut down. While a woman might, tell somebody off, right? Where's the manager? A man might be like, all right, close my account, and I'm never coming here again. And just stay quiet. Not the I'm gonna talk to the manager, blah blah blah. So it's not about being equipped or whatever the hell. It's just that we process things differently.
Really feel happy, really feel excited, really feel angry, really feel these strong emotions. There's two types. And women want the focus type. We want a man who is so focused on his life that he can't even prioritize his emotions. And that's not a bad thing, okay? I think a man that is very strong in how he feels, even if he feels upset, negative emotions, if he feels these negative emotions and he's not necessarily letting it out, that's a very strong man, okay? That's a very, very strong man. A very emotionally unavailable man that becomes angry, becomes mad, very hostile. That's what we want. We want a man that can control that, the negative ones, because that's all we care about. We care about the negative emotions. The happy emotions, excitement, yeah, everyone feels that. But I'm saying when it comes to relationships, we want that upper hand with emotions. We don't want a man to set all of the emotions. We don't want him controlling the room with his emotions. That's too much for a woman, in my opinion. That's too much for a woman to manage not only her emotions, but to also navigate the man's emotions. Because we're so in tune with how we feel. We know exactly how you feel. And that's exactly why we want an emotionally unavailable man. Not that we want it, but we prefer it. Because we know we can help you. We know we can help you with emotions. Like, we are so confident in our own emotions that if you're unavailable for yours, trust me, we will be there for you. We will help you understand your emotions because it comes easy for us. It comes easy. When a man is not too available, but when a man is available for his emotions, it can be a bit confusing for a woman. It can be a bit confusing because if we want to feel how we want to feel and you're feeling how you want to feel, that's a clash. That's clashing. There's no yin and yang there. It's just a bunch of I feel like this. I feel like this. There's no real mutual agreement.
This is why women, they suffer from rambling, and they suffer from, like, for example, when women have a big problem of, talking about something, and then that branches off into something else, and that branches off into something else, and that branches off into something else, that branches off into something else, and they could keep yapping about unlimited things. uh it's kind of like they don't know how to, like, land a plane, get to the point. um and they also suffer from overthinking, right? So a woman would see, like, I don't know, let's just say, like, someone didn't say happy birthday to you. To me, it's like, oh, he's probably busy. Like, let's just say a good friend of mine didn't say happy birthday to me. I really don't care, but let's just say, um, my thinking is, oh, John didn't say happy birthday to me. He's probably busy. He'll say it later. If not, he probably forgot. I'm sure he doesn't mean anything negative about this. I'm sure that he's not purposefully forgetting my birthday. Maybe he forgot, or maybe he's busy, and it's kind of like problem arises. It's a solution. Then move on to some other shit. With women, it's kind of like problem arises. So it's like, oh, Stacy didn't say happy birthday to me. What could it be? This is that. Did I do something to her? Oh, maybe it was last week when we were at that baby shower that I didn't pass her something, or I didn't say hi to her first. I said hi to Brittany first instead of saying hi to her. So maybe now she's purposefully not saying happy birthday to me. This is that. Blah blah blah. And it's just like, because of emotions and stuff. Men, uh, we have to go out there. We have to be the table. We have to be the rock. We have to hunt. We have to keep stability. We don't have time to be going through these mental gymnastics and thinking why someone forgot our birthday or something like that. And we also don't have time to ramble about something, right? It's kind of like strategy. Get to the point. We have to tackle this buffalo down. And I know, like, you guys have heard this in multiple YouTube channels, like, oh, back in the day, and humans have evolved. And yeah, I know this stuff gets corny sometimes, but it's, a lot of it is true. And women, they were mostly in the caves, or at the campsite or whatever, and they were around all the women and all the children, and they were picking berries and shit like that, or knitting and stuff like that. So they were able to just babble on about pointless dumb stuff that that only matters to them. As a man, we couldn't be babbling. It's like, dude, the buffalo's gonna hear you talking, shut up, and they're gonna run away. We have to strategy, this, that, get to the point, come up with a plan, solution. So Yeah, uh, that's basically a lot of this stuff is tied to evolution and the way we're programmed.
Compromise, there's no understanding, listening, and actual reciprocation. Even if, right, two people feel different feelings and they get over it, they both get over it, there's always going to be something that will set someone else off. Everyone has a limit. Everyone has an emotional capacity. Everyone. So, for women, our capacity is much smaller, I believe, than a man. A man can have a larger capacity when he's putting up with his emotions. I mean, I'm not differentiating completely like it's black or white. No, I'm just saying women in general, we feel lots of emotions every day, every month, every week. And we just know that we can help men. At least in my world, I know I can help a man with his emotions if he's not currently available for his own. And yeah, when a man is focused, that's all a woman really wants. Because at the end of the day, when we are trying to express our emotions to our man, we want to feel heard. And then we also want to provide emotion for the man. If the man is talking about his day and there's not much emotion.
Yeah, they're gonna give you like a sugar coated way of saying basically we want selfish a holes who don't prioritize us and don't really care about us. But then he occasionally like is lovey dovey and shows us that we mean everything to him and he's giving us his full attention. And then he goes back to ignoring us and only caring about himself and putting himself first. And uh, you know, th- she basically said that in a nice sugar coated way, in a nice PG way, in a nice feminine way. That's what they want, and a lot of times it's hard for guys to be able to accept this because you're thinking like, oh, if I ignore her or if I don't text her, that's probably gonna drive her into the arms of another man. This, and that, blah blah blah. Dude, it's just the way they are. I don't know. They love guys who ignore them and guys who put themselves first. And it's like, first, it's the stuff that you have going on, and then you sprinkle a little bit of lovey-doveyness and be a little bit of a simp, and then go back to ignoring her and back to treating her like she doesn't matter. Like, I don't know why they're like that. It's basically like this. It's basically like 90% of the time, ignore her. 5% of, no, I'll say 8% of the time, you could be like lovey dovey, treat her like a queen, yada, 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 all that stuff. And then 2% of the time, be like a total a hole, like total D head, DICK head. So basically, 90% of the time, you're just ignoring her and putting yourself first. And you're giving her very minimal attention. 8% of the time, be a simp. Go ahead and be a simp. And then 2% of the time, be like an evil a-hole. They'll love you if you do that.
About it, but he's just logically talking about his day. Oh, I did this, I did that, step by step. Maybe he's doing little dips and dabs of how he feels. The woman is going to express how she feels about her man's day, which in return makes the man more available to his own emotions. And I think that's the balance in being emotionally available as a man. You don't need to be fully available. Please don't be, because then you're just a woman. You know what I mean? You can be available for your emotions as a man, but to be fully available, do you even know what that means? Do you know what that means? I don't think you really know what that means. It takes a very strong, vulnerable part of you to be able to witness these emotions and let them pass and actually feel them. So I think probably the strongest emotions that men actually do feel are the angry and mad ones. You know, you always hear that a man has anger issues and a man's always has a temper. But some men aren't introduced to emotional women. And I think that's what creates the balance. So, yeah. Of course, women love emotionally unavailable men because we're so emotional. We're too emotional. We need someone to balance it out. And in return, we help you because emotions is our forte. It's our specialty. Whereas solutions and logic can be your specialty. If we're upset about something, we want solutions. We want solutions more than you just having your own emotion about it. Seriously. Seriously. I know in my own life, I've talked to a guy and a guy would give me a solution. And usually I don't want the solution because I just want to feel. Women, we don't want the solution right then and there. We want to just feel. So it seems like you can't give us the solution, but I'm telling you, it's better than giving us some emotion about it or some like, oh, that's stupid. Oh, you're mad about this at work. Oh, that's dumb. Oh, like just matching our energy, just mirroring our emotions. We don't want that. We want.
Basically, she's saying that they want the guy to just hear them out, don't really say anything, just hear them out, and don't really go back and forth with her like one of her girlfriends. Be like, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, and then what did Brenda do? She broke the copy machine, and then dang, that's crazy. And then she's like, yeah. And then Brenda came in late, and she wants you to just be there and let her babble. She wants you to be there and let her babble, let her like let it out. Like basically, this is like an emotional like orgasm for them to like let all this like out. This stuff that she's been feeling that's been building up. She can release it onto you, right? um, you know, she's basically saying in a nice way that they want selfish, arrogant a-holes who only care about themselves, but love their woman and protect her and provide for her, and occasionally, they switch up and they're lovey-dovey and they're treating her like she's the most magnificent, amazing thing on earth, and then goes back to treating her like she's nothing. That's basically what she's saying in really nice words. And they don't want another girl, or they don't want like a gay best friend, right? They want like a guy they can look up to, right? And think of like the way like a king would treat like someone that that herds the horses, right? A king wouldn't be there like yapping back and forth with the horse herderer, like they're good buddies. You kind of have like a higher standard. Like these little conversations are beneath me. Like these little tit for tat little work squabbles that you have with your girlfriends or your female co-workers, like this is beneath me. They just want you to sit there and listen and not like be really engaged, like, oh, like you're one of the girls, right? So that's basically it. Anyways, guys, make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe. That's just the reality. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish you could it could be like the Disney movies, and you could really show a girl that you really care about her, and she's gonna reciprocate that. But no, that's not the way the world works. You gotta actually show her that not you don't really gotta show her that you don't care about her, but you gotta keep her in this like, does he care about me? Does he not? Does he? I don't know. It seems like he doesn't, but then he switches up, and it seems like he does. You gotta like keep him there. Anyways, love you guys. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one, and I'm out.